What is up, Brecken Stories? Surprise! I am honored that Brenton asked me to be the second Surprise Wednesday guest of season 2 here. John's a tough act to follow, but I'll try my best. My name's S.J. Lee, if you don't know me. I am an investor in Baltimore City and the surrounding areas, Howard County, Frederick County, Baltimore County, Anne Arundel County. So I do flips and rentals. Right now I have 7 flips in the past calendar year that have gone start to finish. I have 2 more under contract for sale, 4 more under construction right now. So I'm scaling up quickly. What's going on, Ryan? But rentals are my main focus, the long-term cash flow of rentals. So I have 12 units right now, and I just started doing that about 8 months ago. So that's ramping up a little bit more quickly. I'm starting to use the flip money to buy rentals. So I'll give you a little backstory about myself. Never been a huge school guy. I'll start back in 8th grade. In 8th grade, I was a great student from preschool to 7th grade, straight A's. I liked school. I liked learning, especially math. And 8th grade's when I started kind of questioning, why am I learning this stuff? And I started questioning my teachers, what job will I ever need that requires this? And I started becoming more and more aware of the fact that a lot of what I was learning in school wasn't going to help me. So I wanted to drop out, and I was, 13, obviously I couldn't leave school. So I stayed in school. I went through high school too, but I wanted to leave the whole time. I just didn't know what I was going to do. So if I had left at that time, I would have sat on my couch eating cereal for 3 meals a day and done nothing, and I don't know, waited tables or something for the rest of my life. So I went off to college, University of South Carolina, go Cox, and I loved college. I lasted 2.5 years there. I went through my first 2 years, came home for the summer, did a flip, completely blind. I went to a conference. I said, well, I want to make some money this summer, but I don't want to work. So what's the least work I can do to make the most money? So I decided on doing a flip. I had watched at least 5 episodes of Flip or Flop, so why not? So I jumped into it, and that seriously was the extent of my knowledge on it. I got lucky. I made close to 6 figures on that flip, and I did very well on that flip. It's probably the best flip that I will ever do. Hopefully not, but to date it definitely is. I went back to school to start my 3rd year, my junior year, and all my friends were signing these job offers, $50,000, $45,000 jobs, working 60 hours a week. So I said, well, I don't really want to do that. So I lasted another semester, and I figured out, I could do this real estate thing full time. So it wasn't as easy as I thought, obviously. You don't just get $100,000 deals, $90,000 deals every day doing flips, but it's been going very well so far. So if anyone has any questions about that or about my story, let me know. I wanted to share more of what, if I were to look back on where I am now and how I got there, I'd do a lot of things differently. So I wanted to save a lot of people time, money, and headaches by explaining what I would have done differently, how I would have done it differently. So it's like John said. He said that he lost all this money in the crash, but what took him, say, 7-10 years back then he was able to come back and do it in a year and a half because he knew, well, I went here, here, and here in that 10 years or 7 years when I could have just gone here to here. So I'm going to map out my here to here after going like that to where I am now. So the first thing, I have a little checklist over here, so if you see me looking over here, that's what I'm looking at. The first thing is to find a focus, whether it be wholesaling, flipping, rentals, single family, multifamily, whatever it is, find a focus and dive into that. Don't jump around. Don't say, I'll wholesale a little bit, I'll do some rentals, I'll do some flips. Focus on one thing. If you can get the system down, get it automated, then, you know, you'll be able to do it more efficiently and you'll have time to look into those other sources of revenue. So focus on one thing to start with. Number 2 would be to hire a coach. You hear a lot, people say, oh, why should I have a coach? You should always have a coach. Analogy I hear a lot is that swing coaches or pro golfers have swing coaches. Yeah, but do you think you could swing a golf club just looking at someone? Yeah, probably. You might not, be a scratch golfer, but you could figure it out. A better analogy, I think, for real estate is like, real estate's like flying a plane. Like, you get into the cockpit, and you're like, holy shit. Like, you see all these crazy buttons and knobs, you don't know what to do. So, trying to invest in real estate without a coach is like trying to fly a plane without having ever taken a class. So, number 2, hire a coach. Number 3, LLC, EIN, operating agreement, and a bank account. So, an LLC is easy. You just file it with the state. You don't need LegalZoom. You don't need all this stuff. If you don't know how to file an LLC, let me know. I have a little document I can send you that walks you through it. EIN's the same way. You go on the IRS's website, search IRS EIN. It's easy. Type in your info. It takes 10 minutes. Operating agreement, find it online. They're easy to find. It doesn't matter. You're the only member. You're the only one who's going to see it. Banks need it. Closing companies need it a lot of the time, so you have to have it. And then a bank account. So keep your business and your personal separate. If you mix them up, it's confusing as hell for taxes. I'm doing some taxes right now. I have an extension through October for my 2016 taxes, and it has taken me so much time separating my personal from my business, and it's terrible. So, definitely get that taken care of early so you don't have to deal with it later. A lot of people, when they first start, they get a Facebook account for their business, a logo. You don't need all that stuff. You just, these are the things you need to get started. LLC, EIN, operating agreement, bank account. Number 4 would be get your real estate license. For wholesalers, this may be a little bit different. I'm not an expert by any means on that. I don't wholesale properties right now. But from what I've heard, it's very easy to wholesale with your license. You just have to disclose it that you have your license. But you get MLS access. So that's such a huge pro. You can see what's sold when for any range date. Zillow's all right for that, but if you have MLS access, it helps you so much. I started by looking through SDAT records. So I went and searched a street and clicked on every single one, saw when it last sold, and it took me probably 2 hours to comp a house. So that's how I started. That's how little I truly knew about this. So get your license would be number 4. And I have heard of others, FlipComp, Privy, but nothing beats the MLS access. Number 5, educate yourself. Programs, BiggerPockets, conferences, books, podcasts. Just make sure you keep that central focus that we discussed in number 1. So a great program. I don't know if Matty A is in this group, but Six Figure Flipper has been so helpful for me with flipping. I highly recommend it. Bigger Pockets is great for flipping and rentals and wholesaling. Conferences, you have to make sure you're going to the right ones, but they're great. Books, again, Central Focus. So when I started, I was just reading anything. So this is what I read. The Strategic Dividend Investor. Alright, it's a great book. Honestly, if you want to do dividend investing, this is a great book. I don't want to do dividend investing, but I struggled through that thing and it was so boring. This is what I should have been reading the whole time. Bigger Pockets, book on rental property investing. But now I'm reading it and I'm through 100 pages. It's a lot of stuff that I kind of already knew because I had to learn it. But I could have saved months of learning that stuff by just reading that book. Funny story too. Alright, so the Nats game is on right now. It's 1-0. How do I do this? 1-0 Nats, right? Nats Cubs. Bottom of the third, 2 outs. Cubs are batting. I have another copy of this that I got for free. This book. So I'll give it out. First person who guesses the Nats score, final score in the comments correctly, they can get, I'll even pay for the shipping. I'll send you that book, because I got an extra one. Disclaimer though, a couple of the pages are ripped out, which is why Bigger Pockets sent me another one. So, alright, that's number 5, educate yourself. What's up, Brenton? Thank you for having me on. Number 6 would be make connections. Realtors, wholesalers, property management, and contractors. They'll give you leads. They'll give you ARVs if you need them, if you can't figure them out. And the contractors will give you a good way to estimate repair costs starting out, which is one of the biggest things. You don't need an accountant. You don't need a lawyer to start out. Just take care of what you need, and you can take care of that stuff later. This number 7 would be to make contacts with lenders and investors. So whether you have your money where you're gonna put it up and do the flip or buy the rental, you can skip that step. But the main thing would be to make those connections, and I would make those connections after talking with people like realtors, stuff like that, so you don't seem like you're new. You want them to be confident, and you want them to at least think that you know what you're talking about. And make sure your credit score is high. That should be a given. Keep your credit score up. You need... It's like your report card. It's like your permanent record in school. You want your credit score high. And then number 8 would be find a source for your deals, whether it's MLS or wholesalers. Start looking into it. Get on these wholesaler lists so that they email you their deals. And then number 9 would be to start analyzing them. So even if you don't buy them, you want to look at them. You want to underwrite. I'll underwrite 50 to 100 deals a week. And I might only buy 1, maybe 2. I might buy none. But now I can do it in 5 minutes. It's easy. Before, it took me, like I said, I was going through SStat records and adding things up one by one, and it would take a day to do one. So if you practice that, you'll find one eventually because you can do it so quickly. And that's it. I only had 9, but 9 seemed kind of lame, so the 10th thing I wanted to say was just to do what you want to do. I mean, if you're in control, if you want to do it, don't listen to me. This is just what I would suggest. If you don't want to listen to me, me 2 years ago didn't listen to me, so I'm still alright, and I think I would be to this point a lot faster if I had listened to me. But if you want to skip some of these steps, skip them. If you want to do extra, do extra. You're in control, so do what you want to do. That's all I have for you guys. Remember, I will ship you this book if you're the first one to guess the Nats score. It looks like they're challenging something right now. but I'd give you a score update if I had it. So leave it in the comments. Guess the score. Free book, but only 2 pages missing. But I'll send you pictures of the ones that are missing. Alright, see you guys.